All right, so Antoinette, welcome to this interview.
Yeah.
um, this interview is more to like be able to answer questions that people normally have, to
Okay.
break beliefs. So it's pretty chill.
Okay. I'm gonna
And
change scenery here,
we'll
but
we generally start off with what are the series of events that led you down this crazy rabbit hole of Facebook groups? Um, how did you find out about us? And what have you tried before stumbling upon like this vehicle of traffic and conversion? So give us a little bit of your origin story, if you will.
okay. So I'm Antoinette. Some people may know me as Red Lotus Chick on TikTok, and on Instagram, but TikTok happened for me. I got on TikTok. I started talking about, some deals that I made. I'm a real estate investor and credit repair specialist. So as I was talking on TikTok, it just kind of like blew up. It blew up, and everybody's like, "Hey, do you have this? Do you have a course? Do you have coaching? Do you have?" And I'm like, no, but I can make it for you. So I was in the process of trying to figure out how to monetize my fan base. And I was talking to some guys on TikTok, and they mentioned, I said, well, how do you, they said, hey, you should make a Facebook group. I said, okay. And then I said, how do you get the emails? And then they said, oh, we use an app called, um, GroupConvert. I said, okay. So I download GroupConvert, and I'm like trying to do the thing. And then, of course, that kind of led me down the rabbit hole of finding you. I think somehow, you started marketing to me, and I was like, oh, a 5-day challenge. Cool. I joined the 5-day challenge. And it was all about writing your high ticket offer. And that was another thing that I was looking to build on because I didn't have a high ticket offer. I was always kind of scared of high ticket and whatever. So I do the high ticket offer, and then by that time I was just kind of like, okay, so let's do this. Like sign me up.
You went through the 5-day challenge.
Mhm.
So it was because someone recommended our tool, GroupConvert, that allowed
Mhm.
you to come on into our world in a small way. And
Mhm.
then from there, you started getting emails from us, and then you're like, well, why not? This is a free 5-day
Yeah, I joined.
challenge.
Yeah, I joined the group, and then it was like, "Hey, the 5-day challenge," and I was like, "Oh, okay." Well, kind of like, "What's this?" And can I show up for this? And yeah, it was
I
super
love it.
like passive. I wasn't I was looking for a way to like build out and help with my systems and stuff like that, but I wasn't like per se like looking for this high ticket coaching offer, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I love that that's the way you entered our world because it's very natural. It's like you're looking for a problem to solve, which is like, hey, how do I monetize for my existing audience now that it blew up?
Mhm.
What do I do? And
Mhm.
the greatest gift that I feel like we can give to you is to sell you on the idea of higher ticket because
Mhm.
then you aren't you don't have to spend as much time getting that getting the financial abundance that you deserve, and
Mhm.
also you will attract higher quality people and students so that you have a great experience as a coach, as a teacher off the bat.
Yeah.
So that's something that I felt like called to on one of the days we spoke about offers, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta sell them on the fact that high ticket is better than low ticket, even though we
Yeah,
can have low ticket.
for sure.
All right, I love that. Very natural. So you didn't really try anything before to monetize for your TikTok audience. You didn't like try to pitch them something small or anything like that. You just
I
like,
did. So I had a number of different products, and I had like a membership called the Red Lotus Academy. I had the ebook, and I had a webinar. So those three things I already had, and I had just launched the ebook, and the ebook was getting sales passively, which was great. And then I had like 33 members in my and my membership. And once we spoke, I realized like my membership is like my high ticket offer, really. Among other things, it was like I was giving away like all of this value, and I have like tons of content that could be, repurposed. And so after speaking with you and gaining some clarity, like I really was like, okay, here's how I'm gonna change this up, and here's how I'm gonna market it. Because really, I was already doing a lot of work for my current clients, but then I just realized I could be making more money doing pretty much the same thing that I'm doing now.
Yeah.
So that was like my aha moment. I was like, okay.
And your particular story, you kind of like put one foot in, and then you're like, I'm just gonna pitch, and you just like took a landing page, pitched to your people. Tell me about that experience, like in terms of like the feelings that take us through how you felt as you were doing those things, because you messaged me, you're like, Kim, when I spoke to you, I had $100.
Yeah, I
So
showed you. Yeah, so I was waiting for like a property to close, and it was like I'm like waiting for this property to close. I was like, okay, well, look, I know that there were certain people that had already asked me. They were like, hey, do you do coaching? I was on TikTok live, and they were like, do you do coaching? I would love to do like coaching. And I said, okay, guys, how many of you guys would be interested in coaching? And like, people are in the comments and they're going off. And I was like, okay, how much would you pay for something like that? And they're like going off. And I said, okay, look, you guys set the price. Here's a link. I want you to drop your emails and sign up. And like, I will reach out to you within the next 48 hours. No systems, no, I didn't have it all together. I was just like, collect the emails of the people that are interested. So I have like my snip feed page with my links. And I was like, look, I don't have all of my systems in place. I don't have my emails and all that stuff. But I was like, I need to capitalize on this. So I just literally put up like my offer stack, my very rudimentary offer stack, and my Snippy page. And I was like, here it is. It's not like a fancy funnel. It's not, listen, it was literally like the page, like a static picture. And then I put like the little green check marks next to the offer stack. And I was like, here it is. And then I got 3 people to sign up. And then somebody was like, hey, I really need like a payment plan. I was like, oh, okay, great. So I was like, okay, we could do it this way. And they were like, okay, cool. I'm going to do it that way. And so then they signed up for the payment plan. And that page is still up there today. Okay. It's still converting. And I'm still in the process of like building out the funnel page. But so many things were happening. It was just like, do it. Don't worry about it being perfect. The one thing that I wanted to get right was the offer stack and making sure I was clear on what the offer was. And then once I got clear on that, I felt like, funnels do convert. But honestly, like once the information is clear to the buyer, then they will be able to make the decision as to whether or not they wanted to join. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. You're very ready, fire, aim type of person.
Yeah.
And that's like that's a pattern that I see with my more successful clients, because then they just go. They don't need to have everything perfect.
Yeah.
Just go and do it, which is I love that. So can you take us through like once you're in Ignite, like what are the things you consume? Like what are the actual things that you like took yourself through in terms of work? How was that experience for you in terms of like because you launched like almost right away. So
yeah.
Take me through that journey.
So honestly, I logged into Ignite and there was so much information. I was just like, oh my God, like this is so much information. I met with Michael and I met with you. And honestly, like from those 2 meetings, I was like, okay, so I'm clear on what it is that I have to do. And I went ahead and did it. Now, I haven't even gone through all of the material in Ignite. my goal was to, because I'm running two businesses and trying to close deals and stuff, my goal was to just get the landing page up, and then I was gonna like really solidify the systems. What I like is the accountability, because there are times where it just won't click for me. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone else. I consider myself to be like real, like, okay, go get a hustler, but sometimes things click and sometimes they don't. So it's like I had all these tools and I was looking at it and I'm like, what? And so one thing that I appreciated was with Michael. He was like, okay, look, this is what you got. All right, we're gonna work with what you got. And he really just helped me to like fine tune my offer stack. And he was like, okay, we're gonna keep this page here until we build out obviously the funnel page. And honestly, all of the content is there for you. So you would just have to go through it. And for me, it was like an issue of time. So I'm still working on my time management and like, okay, every day I'm gonna do like a little piece, do like one thing. So it's definitely the accountability portion for me was like the big part. Like I'm like, okay, let me book a call. And every week I would have my things to do. And then I would check in with Michael, like, okay, so hey, this is what I got completed, or I would put it in Slack and say, hey, okay, this is what I got done. This is, what I'm still working on, or I need help with this. And that was really a big major component to me feeling like, okay, like, boom, I have somebody behind me and I can do this. Because there are just, like I said, I sometimes get turned around with systems and I'm like, oh, I'm not doing this right. Like I could talk to people all day and all night, but like systems somehow they just have a chokehold on me. So yeah, so he was like, okay, look, we're gonna do these two things, okay? Don't worry about anything else. But even in the midst of all of that, I'm still, converting and I'm still doing it, which obviously once you have done it, you get more confidence, you get more understanding, you can get more feedback, you can improve. So it doesn't need to be perfect. That's the one thing that I'm just like, if I can drive home today, it doesn't need to be perfect. Do the work, operate with integrity. You have a great team, great system, great information. Like it's going to come together. And that's why I keep telling myself, everything's going to come together.
We're all gonna make it.
Yeah, we're gonna make it. It's gonna happen. It's really like high level, like for me operating on like faith. It's just like, look, do the work. It's like that little saying, if you build it, they will come. Like that's like in my head. If you build it, they will come. And I mean, really, my first launch was a great example of that. If I put up the link, they will buy it. Even if it's not perfect, if they see it, they will come. So that was like really like, man, I could really do this. And just from seeing that happen, now I'm like, okay, let's do it again, but better.
Yes, let's do it again. Let's be consistent.
Yeah.
One of the things that, so I want to touch upon the fact that you already had assets, Antoinette. You had a webinar, you had, your academy. And how come, tell me the difference between that and what you tried doing after you came in and got the accountability from us and, just went for it. Like, how come it wasn't like, oh, I have all this stuff already, so I don't, I'm not gonna really need you guys, and I don't need to invest in myself. I have my stuff. So what was it that made you go, oh, I'm gonna try this, and like walk me through that? Because a lot of people who are listening in, they do have assets. They have webinars. They have video sales letter. They have their website and all the things. And tell me, what was the actual difference that led to like conversion for you?
My stuff wasn't I would say converting. So I had the stuff, but it wasn't converting. And nowhere in my offers did I have an offer stack. So I was realizing that people were not clear on what it was that each product did. And I would get that question a lot on social media. And people will say, well, what's the difference between this and this? What's the difference between a webinar? What's the, and I would find myself constantly explaining like, hey, okay, so this is for this is for that. But then I realized also, I said, if I keep getting this question, number one, it's not clear. And then number two, I was looking at the metrics on my website and I was like, so I'm getting traffic and I will see that people are looking at the item, but then they just weren't buying. And then I was like, okay, well, I have the feet in the door. I need to learn how to like really get them to convert. And that was really one of the things that drove me to really do the program, because obviously, like, I kind of feel like I had a system or at least an understanding. Post a video on TikTok, it's, post a viral video or try to get the video to go viral. When you get the video to go viral, you get feet in the door. Once you get feet in the door, have the things in place so that they can buy, because they are looking to buy. So I understood all of those things, and I just understood that I was missing a component, you know. So and that's all I really needed. I understood that I had a problem of converting, and your program is called GroupConvert. Well, I needed something to convert. So even though I had all of these things, and then another thing was I had all of these things, but I was also looking to repurpose them. I didn't want to like do things like all over again. That was like really, it kind of seemed like overwhelming for me. So I really wanted to learn how to utilize what I already had. Um, and possibly just, improve it and then sell it for more. So that was another thing that got me to be like, okay, look, I'm going to try it because, clearly you guys are doing something right. You're making like consistent, like, and I said, my goal is to make a consistent 10K month, which last month I made that.
Yes.
And I want to do it consistently. So that's the second thing, to do it consistently. That's what we're working on, right? But also to like not work as hard. The last piece was evergreen. I don't want to have to be everywhere all the time. I do find myself feeling a little burnt out. So I absolutely wanted to learn how to automate a lot of these systems so that I'm not like, hey, I got to order it, and now I'm manually going to send out an email to these people and have anxiety like, oh no, I'm in the grocery store, I haven't responded right away. Like, it was ruining my life. And I'm a very anxious person just as it is. So I didn't want the extra workload of like having this level of success. Like, hey, people are buying, but now I don't have the systems in place to like talk to them, and I'm freaking out because I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't respond to their email within 20 minutes and now I'm a bad person. Yeah. The
Sometimes,
scenarios I make up in my head are crazy. They're crazy.
Antoinette, you're hilarious. You're like, I'm at the grocery store. I'm freaking out in the aisle.
Right? Like, oh my God, I got a new order. And I'm like, oh my God, yay. Oh my God, I need to email them. And I can't email, like stop it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Yeah, it's sometimes we take for granted, or I take for granted, how much systems and automations we have in place already that enables it to be quickly onboarding you and giving you that delivery. And then for you to experience that. But I would have to try to really hard remember when it was manual. And yeah, there was so much stress when it comes to manually doing everything versus the team, rallying for all the systems and automations in place plus team is the sweet spot. But you don't have to, because then there's a course correction that happens in that process as well that you don't have to do. I do want to talk to you about, you came from the TikTok world and you went into a Facebook group for the 5-day challenge. Did you have any reservations of like, this is for a Facebook group environment, this might not work for TikTok? Do you have any of those type of questions coming into the program? Because I know people are like, oh, this is just for a Facebook group, or this is just for this. Like, did you feel like what we taught you or the things that you learned is just solely like one thing?
No,
Curious.
not at all. Not at all. So it's funny because my Facebook group, although I passively get followers now, at no point in time during the program was I thinking that I can only use this for Facebook groups. And really my mindset was to put the systems in place so that I can obviously monetize my TikTok fan base. The Facebook group is cool, but my TikTok fan base is where most of my followers are super active. So at no point in time did I think like, oh no, this is just for Facebook groups. Because I understood like, hey, we're learning how to do high ticket offers. That is, applicable across the board. We're learning how to collect people's information so that we can market to them, also applicable across the board. We're putting systems in place which is just applicable across the board. So it doesn't really matter like where your fan base is. Yeah, Facebook groups is one of the places, but there are so many other places where you can basically drive traffic. It's just like the basic concept of you have the traffic, you have the eyeballs, now direct them, create the funnel, and let it work. So for me it was never like, oh, I'm afraid that I only have this Facebook group and it's only this amount of people. Like, no, I never thought about it like that. And it's funny because now that you ask me that, I'm like, I don't even think one of my Facebook group people signed up for the offer. All of the people that signed up for the offer were people from TikTok. I don't even think I really thought about it. And it was like, I didn't even really have to sell it. I was on TikTok. People were like, I want this thing. And once I properly, presented it to them. So yeah, that's kind of crazy.
So it was like clarity coming in, getting the clarity in the offer, getting like realizing that you need an offer stack. And by the way, Antoinette, the things that you shift in your perspective of what will bring value and communicate value to your audience, that is a simple but profound shift. That one shift. It's simple to do a stack, but unless you really understand the value of it, people can just have an offer all day long on their Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and they're not going to get purchases because it doesn't clearly communicate the value to them.
Yeah, that was something that I understood about because I was getting the same questions. I said, okay, so clearly it's on my part that I'm not communicating to them in a way that they understand what this is and what the value is. So I understood that problem. And I think, I was just putting out in the universe that I'm trying to solve this problem. And that's how I ended up in your group.
The universe answers.
Yes.
And so in terms of support, would you say that and this is something that I get asked a lot, like, hey, Kim, is this another group coaching program where I'm growing a group? And I say it's not, because it's custom to you. It's figuring out what is the thing that hasn't been working, not having to redo everything that you have, but making sure that the things you have were converting. Would you say that resonates with you?
Yeah. I can definitely say that for sure. Because really what I wanted to get out of this is helping me with my weak points. I was able to identify, hey, I'm okay. So I'm great at this, not so great at this. Let me go find people that are great at this. And for me, I don't know if everyone is doing this, but I really wanted to custom cater my experience to like, listen, this is what I need help with. And I think I was really clear when I was talking to you, like, look, I rock at this, I suck at this. Okay. And that's really what we have been focusing on. And so for me, I really feel like that has added value for me, because if we are, number one, addressing the things that I'm like, hey, these are my biggest pain points. Pain points is a word I learned, like, what's your pain point? We're addressing my biggest pain points. So it automatically helps me to feel like, hey, I'm not wasting energy all over the place. I'm addressing the issues that are biggest for me. And in turn, I am able to directly see the effects of, hey, when I fix this pain point, this is what happens, which is AKA I sell more high ticket coaching clients and make more money. So for me, it's super clear. And I appreciate the accountability that I get, because I will go into my accountability meetings like, okay, so look, this is what I did and this is what I didn't do. And sometimes, like, I remember Michael was like, okay, so you didn't do this, let's do that now, we're going to do it right now. And we did it then. I think it was building out a payment plan because I didn't know how to do it on Stripe. And he was like, here, let me take control of your computer, let's do it right now. He set it up for me. And then after that, I just had to share the link. So and that's like major, because I probably would have spent hours on, like, and I probably did spend like an hour or two trying to figure out, like, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. But he just literally kind of corrected like a few things, and then boom, it was done. So that's pretty big for me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and having that done and having that off of your mind probably enabled more people to be able to buy from you. So that
Mm-hmm.
might bring more cash in the door from that one moment.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. I love hearing
Yeah,
that.
I really want to spend, like, this was like really quick. Like, when I say quick, like, I think I did the 5 day challenge, and then I was already in the process of saying, like, I already had this thing going, but I didn't have all the pieces together. So I was really kind of winging it. Right? So the fact that I was able to convert just from, like, the thing, I can literally see like a direct kind of like part A and part B. This is what was happening when I was doing it myself. This is what's happening once I joined the program and started putting some things in place. So yeah, really happy. I think I had like less than 10 days to sell this to sell this offer. And yeah, I listen, I was a believer before, but the money definitely makes you even more of a believer. I'm like, so I can do that, then now do it again.
Yeah, speaking about how quick it was, can you tell us like how soon did you feel like you're like, hey, I'm gonna get a return on my investment here? Like because it's one thing for me to tell people, hey,
Hmm.
it can be fast. You don't have to, because some people buy a program and it takes them like, I'm like, how long have you been in this? And they're like, half a year. And I said,
Oh,
okay, what did you do? I sold one package for how much?
yeah.
$300. Then I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
So to take me through like how, at what point where you're like, oh man, uh, I invested and I can get my return on my investment. Um, and then
I
also the speed
understood.
at which you move. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I understood that I can get a return on my investment very quickly. And the funny thing is, my offer, my offer was priced at basically 2,000. And you were like, "That's a $5,000 offer," and I was like, "But I already said it was 2,000." And then you said, "Okay, fine, do it at 2,000, and then next time do it at 5,000." And so, had I did it at 5,000, right, and I got the same amount of signups, I would have had, 3 times the
20.
money, and that would have been the investment within what, like 7 days. So so yeah, technically, numerically, I've already made my investment back. So if you guys are worried about making your investment back, it can, if you listen, it can be rather quick. I was just, like I mentioned, I was just in the middle of doing my offer already, so I had already like said this was going to be the price, so I didn't want to like be like, oh, you know what, I changed my mind, it's $3,000 more. So um so yeah, like, and one thing I understand about education in general is that if you know as a person that you are willing to do the work, and it's not some sort of impossible kind of weird, oh, this only works for a small group of people kind of thing, 9 times out of 10 you'll be able to be successful at that thing. um because it's not like a unicorn thing. You put the, I don't know, it made a lot of sense to me, it was very logical. You put the systems in place, you show up, you do the work, you'll see the results. It's not magic, it is doing the work. And so for me, I'm a person, like, I will bet on myself 110 times. All right, I'll bet on myself every day, because I know that I'm gonna show up even if I'm not perfect, even if I don't have the systems in place. You know, even if I'm like, hey, my ADD is flaring up and I can't focus today, I'm still gonna show up. Okay. So that's one thing about me. So I didn't mind spending the money. And I think I remember I was like, Kim, I don't have the money. I'm gonna go get the money. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go get the money. And like I promise you guys, I borrowed money from a friend and I was like, hey, listen, I'll give this back to you on my first sale. And she was like, yeah, no problem. You know, because she knows me. So she knows, and I don't like ever ask for money. Like my family's like, I was like, why don't you let us help you? I'm like, no, I'm gonna get it myself. But this time I wanted in so badly that I asked to borrow money. And my friend lent me the money and I gave it right back to her on my first sale. And the first sale was literally like a day. She let me borrow the money. I borrowed the money, I did the stuff, and then I got my first sale that day, and I was able to like give her her money back and pay on the rest of the program. So it was I don't know, like it was just like I said, it was really quick for me. And I really understood the value, and I because I already believed in myself. Once I saw what was being offered and what I was going to be taught, I was like, this is the thing that I need. And so sorry, so I was just like, yeah, let's spend the money, let's do it, because this is the difference between me making $10,000 a month once a blue moon, and making 10K plus consistently every month. This is like me spending 8,000 to possibly just make hundreds of thousands of dollars. That I was like, I couldn't get the money. I was like, where's my like? Let me give you this money so I can find out how to do this consistently. So yeah, I was pretty much trying to throw money at you. I remember I got my first sale and I was like, look, I got it. And then I was like, it's still processing in Stripe, but just give me, it was like Friday. And I was like, run my card. And I was like, oh, wait, it's not there yet. I gotta wait for it to process. Like, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I was pretty much throwing my money at you. I was just like, take it.
Antoinette, you're so hilarious. I love talking to you. It's take my money.
Yeah, take it and teach me, damn it.
Like that's the type of reception that I like. If you have an offer and it's good and it's clear, your people have the same reception probably towards you. They're like, here's money. I'm gonna
Yeah.
borrow it. I'm gonna be resourceful. I'm gonna figure it out. But I know that this is what I want. This is the next thing that I need. And then our offer can be irresistible because we are teaching you how to possibly make hundreds of thousands of dollars, even millions, on a teeny investment. And so
Yeah.
it and I do have questions of people going, is this going to work? Will this work for me? So one of the questions before we get into that, I do want to ask you, we have your numbers in the banner, but I would always like to hear like what are the exact, sales that you made in what amount of time, as well, for those who are listening and they're not like watching, they're just like
Okay, so
in audio form.
I made 4 sales. I want to say it was like within 7 days. Because like I said, it was like I had 10 days before my actual launch date. I had already put a date on it. I was in the middle of doing things when I joined this program. So I got 4 full payment sales, and then I got 1 payment plan. And they all showed up on the 31st. The 31st was like my actual workshop day, and my offer was for $2,000.
So that was like, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so the payment plan one, I broke it up into 3 payments, with a little bit of interest. So it ends up being slightly over 2,000, but yeah. But I was like, yeah, technically that's 4 clients within that, I'm going to say like 7 to 10 day period of time.
Okay, and so that was around 8. Well, if you count revenue, then it's like
8,000.
8,000. Awesome.
Yeah. I'm counting the payment plan because like I said, it's even though she's paying monthly, She is like literally like she's in the position that I was in with you. So for her, she's like, I'm doing it. Let me, she's like, I'm finding the money.
Isn't
And
that funny how we are the client we attract? Like we
mhm.
are literally the clients we
And
attract.
she is showing up and she is showing out. She's the first person in group coaching. She is there. She is, and so I was like, listen, I'll work with a person like you all day. You are me, basically. You may not have it all figured out, but you understand that this opportunity can change your life. And so you're like, let's make it happen.
Yeah, I love it. And your niche is, just so they
Real
know.
estate investing. So I buy and sell properties through tax deed investing. And then I also do credit repair.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Both of which is incredibly valuable and useful for your people.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
all right. I love that. So, yeah, like speaking of that, do you feel like, because I do get questions all the time from people saying, will this work for me with my niche?
Hmm.
Do you feel like what you learned uh, through Ignite applies to one particular niche? Like,
No,
what do you feel with that?
it's to any niche. You just what you're learning is not niche specific. What you are learning is how to present an offer, how to communicate with your audience, learning what it is your audience wants. So, um, how to create a convincing offer stack and then putting the systems in place to execute. And that is not niche specific. Okay. You could do that with anything. All right. But the major thing is learning, hey, this is my potential client, and understanding your market, your fan base, what it is they want, and then creating something that they want. Now, in terms of what it is that you might particularly sell, I really started to get a clear understanding for, hey, a lot of the people that I follow, they're not my ideal client, and I had to be okay with that, and then I had to learn how to talk to my ideal client. So that was another thing that I was like really gaining understanding for, because I like I mentioned before, I was afraid to do high ticket. Give me a second, baby boy, go in the room. Okay, I'll get it for you. Sorry. I was afraid to do high ticket. I was like, oh no, like I don't want to do high ticket. I'm like a really frugal girl. So, but I after understanding, okay, this is the value that my knowledge has. This is what I'm able to do. This is what I'm able to teach people. This is what I'm doing. It really gave me like the push and the self-esteem that I needed to be able to communicate that to other people with conviction. And it's that conviction that really brings people in. Like, yeah, they're gonna have the information, but like, maybe they see someone else go through the program and that sells them. Or maybe like for me, I go on live a lot and I just talk to people and they're like, you speak with so much conviction. I'm like, because it's true. I'm telling you my truth. So, and people will be in the comments like, it's true, I'm in her group. And so it's not so much like I'm selling, I'm literally just telling you my story, and that is what is converting people. So really it's the combination of those two things that just make it such a powerful system.
Yeah, you're speaking your truth. You've always spoke your truth. It's
Yeah.
now it's being able to speak to your people in a way where they're now listening. They're listening in a way where they're like investing
Yeah.
in you. Because I feel like you've always spoke your truth
Yeah.
with,
Yeah.
with your video.
But it
It's
was
not like you've been lying and all of
no,
a sudden
yeah,
you're
I'm
telling the
always
truth.
like, yeah, but I felt like before it was like I was screaming from like a soapbox, but now it's like I have a microphone and I'm
Oh
broadcasting on
shit.
live stream.
That's
And
so
those are
good.
two different like experiences, like you might resonate with the first couple of people in your rows on your soapbox that can hear you. But like once you have a microphone, boom, you're reaching everybody in the back, you're reaching people in the markets, your message is louder now and it's clear.
Oh, I love that analogy. You were yelling from a soapbox,
Yeah.
and now you have a microphone.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that. And you were right when when we spoke. You're like, hey, I'm about credit. How can I charge high? I want to tell people to save their money, so they're gonna spend money with me. So that's not really congruent with saving money.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you changed your mind, because
Yeah.
then now you can get the income that you deserve
I
as
always
well.
I always felt like what I was doing was high ticket. I operate with a very high level of integrity, and I feel like the service that I offer people is very high level. Like if you're spending what, $1,000 on credit repair, just hypothetically speaking, and then I fix your credit, and then you're able to qualify for like a $25,000 credit card. Like that's a great return on investment. So for me, I'm doing the same thing, and like I said, for me, it just translated very, very well in my business and my mindset as well, because I did feel like I was working very hard for very little money, and that was getting frustrating. It was taking the joy out of what I was doing. Like I was like, I don't want to work with people that are going to drive me crazy for pennies on the dollar, and then like I'm there improving their credit, and they're just like, no, I need more. And I realized that when people spend more money, 9 times out of 10, they're not the same people that are going to be driving you crazy. Like constantly, like, oh, is my credit going up like literally every 15 days? And I'm like, you just started yesterday. Like, no, I haven't even done anything. The people who spend more money, you're operating on a higher level of trust. So they're more likely to respect your time, and they're more likely to do the work and just not constantly be complaining or looking for like a fast out. So I am thoroughly enjoying working with a better quality of people, and not having to like convince them like, hey, this is the way. I don't really have to do that, because they already understand and they're ready to go, and they're using, they're showing up and showing out. They're using all of the systems. And I was like, in my mind, this is how I always saw it work. And I was just marketing to the wrong people. And then being disappointed when I did this entire membership. I have like thousands of dollars worth of resources in here. And people are like, yeah, no, I don't see it. Okay. My son is trying to feed me wasabi. Stop it.
I love that you're at home.
Yeah.
Amazing. You're just chilling
Yeah.
on a Friday morning.
Yeah.
I love interviewing clients where their kids walk in on the door, or like poke at food
Listen,
at them.
we get no rest, okay? And so I'm doing all of this for my home office with all of this going on in the back, okay?
Hey, isn't that great? I mean,
Yeah.
great. How you mentioned you were trying this for a long time. How long were you going at this before in 1 week you like make $8,000?
Um, I have been selling products. TikTok like happened for me like last year. So the TikTok portion of it and like the coaching aspect of the real estate investing, that has been for like a year. And I wasn't really like, what did I have before? Oh, I had like a webinar. So I had like a webinar, and I was just kind of doing it like because people were asking me to do it. But it was like, hey, I'm gonna do this one-off thing, and I'm not marketing to you. I'm not selling anything to you. Um, so I did that like a couple of times, and it was really kind of like passive. I was like, it would be cool if I knew how to monetize my digital assets, but I wasn't really focused on it. So, but as the market shifted in real estate, I'm like literally here waiting to close like 3 deals. It's taking extra long, and it's such a weird space to be in, because it's like, I know that I can make a ton of money, but I'm also waiting for real estate to do what it does. I'm waiting, and it's like you have like this $1 million kind of like mindset or asset that it's there. You just don't see the numbers in your bank account, but it's there. So then I was like, okay, well, let me try to cash flow my knowledge, and teach people this thing. So I want to say like it was like a year, but I have not made the amount of money that I made through this program. Just like I've made it on deals before, yes, but I haven't ever made it through my digital sales before. So this is the first time that I've ever like really seen what I call my digital real estate, that I've really been able to like convert my digital real estate and my knowledge in this manner. And it is very enticing because obviously I don't have to wait for, a property to sell or to get it. Like, I'm literally just talking to people and I'm doing the same things. I promise you guys, I have not changed anything. I'm literally still doing the same things. I just have better systems. That's it. And so, yeah, I really love the fact that I don't have to like be somebody different or try to do. No, I'm literally just still doing the same things, but I'm just getting better results. That's it.
I love that, Antoinette. You've tried it for a year. You have your webinar. It's passive.
Yeah.
But then now you realize, like, oh, wow, I don't have to wait until a property is sold until I get paid. I don't have to drive
Yeah.
anywhere. I don't have to, use resources. I'm just at home, I'm
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
being fed wasabi by my son.
Yeah. And I learned that I was like doing too much. I was like trying to create all these products, and I was like, you do know that if you just created like one good high ticket product, you wouldn't have to have 10 other lower ticket items to sell. Like, you could just make one really good product and sell that product. And it's less time, because I found myself like, oh, let me do this membership. Oh, let me do this ebook. Now I'm just like, yeah, don't do any of that stuff. Just make one high ticket product and don't do the rest of the stuff. So I tell everybody on TikTok, I'm taking all of this stuff away. I'm not doing this anymore. I got one product. Y'all can either get the ebook or you can get into the high ticket coaching. Okay, no, you can't say hi right now.
So cute.
No, don't do that because it's hot.
Yeah, and the pathway to $1 million online is one product, one vehicle, one message that's clear. And usually like that, this focus is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Without that, and you have like a million things, because I do have people come to me and they're like, I'm not going to get into your program, Kim. I got to go and finish like all these videos just to make it like really good, because the quality, I have so much integrity with the quality. And in my head, I'm like, okay.
Make it good, but don't let perfectionism, like trying to be perfect, stop you. Because I'm telling you, I'm out here and I tell people this all the time. Like, they're like, oh, are you going to be a real estate coach? I'm like, listen, and they say real estate guru. And I'm like, I'm not a guru. I'm a person that is out here doing this stuff and messing up. Okay. I'm doing this stuff. It's not perfect, but I'm seeing great results. I'm like, I bought this property for $1,300 and I sold it for $28,000. Listen, I can show you how I did that. I don't ever want people to think you have to have it perfect. Because perfectionism is more about you and less about your client. Your client just wants to know how to get where it is that you are at. And guess what? While you were on that journey, you were not perfect. So stop thinking that you have to have everything perfect, all your ducks in a row. Listen, I'm like I'm like, massive imperfect action. Do it. Throw it at the wall, see what sticks, but do it. Because you can have the prettiest website and no traffic. And guess what? All of your perfectionism is out the window. No one's seeing your product. No one's buying it. It's a waste of time.
Yeah. Antoinette, I want to ask you about, now that you know that this is possible and you've seen it, how does that change your future? How does that change the way you look at like how much you can possibly make? What are the things what doors you feel like are going to open up for you or have opened up? Can you take me through that? Because I love to hear like how your vision of your future changes from back then to like now.
Well, I've always been like supercharged, as you can tell.
Yes.
So I always felt like, okay, I'm going to do great things. I'm going to change the world. It's going to be amazing. We're on this amazing journey, right?
Yeah.
I will say that now I realize that you do not have to struggle. Like, I do not have to struggle. And I think I had this mentality like it's the struggle. And now I'm like, no, you don't have to struggle. You can work a little smarter. And so the opportunity that is in front of me to make way more money and have a better quality of life and be able to do it consistently is like, okay. Okay, go in the room. I'm pretty sure he broke something in the refrigerator. It's all good. But the thought of it is salacious. It is tantalizing. It is exciting. It is just like, oh my God, let's do this. Like I cannot wait to like go on this journey and do these things because I know that they're gonna happen. So for me, it's palpable. I just know that great things are coming. And it's really like honestly being excited like that. Like I don't know when for other people. I don't know when was the last time you felt excited about things. I feel like a lot of things are like kind of like mind numbing. There's a lot of negative things out there. And sometimes you just kind of like feel like life is happening for you. But when was the last time you were like excited about something? Like get excited. Get excited about the possibilities. I'm excited because now I know I've done this one time and I absolutely can beat it. I already know it. I can see it. I can taste it. And I'm like, well, let's do it again, and it gets me up in the morning and I'm super excited. And I'm just like, yeah, let's do this. Like, and guess what? Because I'm doing it, other people around me are like, you are like killing the game. And I'm like, look, I'm doing it. I'm like the kid on the roller coaster, like, you got to get on this ride.
Yeah. Well, I think when we enrolled you, we're like, can you think of at least one or two people that if they're a good fit to come work with us, that you go and give them a poke. It's something that I'm like, the more people we help, oh hey, hi, let's go. So cute. We'll be wrapping this up, Antoinette. Thank you so much for your patience so far. You're so hilarious. Hi. But yeah, so
what's your name?
Okay, all right. He is not gonna stop talking. I'm letting you know that now. Okay, Kari, give me 2 more minutes. I'll be right there, okay?
No.
Just 2 more minutes. Just
2 more minutes. I'll be right there. All right. Shh. Okay.
So so you always felt that you would do great things, and it's just only a matter of time. And getting into Ignite allowed you the accountability and the insight and the shift in your mindset, and for that to happen and reflect in your bank account as well. So I love that. I just have 2 questions left here, and we can wrap it up. Which is one, if someone's on the fence of joining Ignite, what would you say to them as advice? And then where can people find you? What you teach, and then what's website or what Facebook group? Where can they find you online?
Okay, so you guys can find me at Red Lotus Chick, and Chick is spelled CHIC. So it's REDLOTUSCHIC. I'm like absolutely obsessed with the concept of the lotus flower because lotus flowers grow in mud. So they're regarded as some of the most beautiful flowers, and they grow in the darkest places. So that's one of the concepts behind, my investment company is called Red Lotus Investments. It's Red Lotus Credit Recovery. So you can just find me, Red Lotus Chick. And if you're on the fence about joining Ignite, honestly, I would ask you, what do you have to lose? Are you making money now? Because if you're not making money now, then I'd say try it. And that's just being real. Like, if you have a system in place and it's not working, then I would highly recommend for you to try something different. And guess what? It might work. What would happen if it works? I know everybody's like, but what if it doesn't work? But what if it does work? That's all I tell people. What if it does work? What if you're able to change your life? What if you're able to make a ton of money? What if we are basing decisions on hypotheticals? let's err towards the positive side. What if it does work? Do it. Yeah, I mean, at the very least, you might make some money. Maybe, okay, this is I'm trying. Okay. Yes, you might make some money. That's what might happen. You might make some money. You might change your life. That's it. Okay, Kari, let's say bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you so much. That was so hilarious. Bye, Antoinette.
Oh God.
I'm gonna bring you back when you hit 20K, 30K. You know, I'm gonna
This
bring
week,
you.
let's do it. Let's go.
Let's go.
Listen, I would love to make 20K this week. Let's do it. All right. Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye. All right, I put Antoinette back into the green room. Antoinette, you can click X to jump out of there. You are hilarious. Oh my gosh. I cried. I laughed so hard I cried. But with that said, Antoinette, when she came to us, she's like, hey, I have $100 in that business bank account. And then now she's able to make $8,000 in less than a week. And really it's not by overhauling a lot of the things that she already has, is taking a look at what she has and then figuring out what hasn't been working in order to course correct. Because the biggest gift that we can give to you is not to say scrap everything you've been doing and start over, but let's take a look at what you're doing to make smarter decisions, to enable you to have confidence and conviction in yourself and your offer, for you to show up fully, and your clients will see that and they will understand the value of what you have, to say yes to themselves for the life that they could live if they follow you. With that said, go to GroupConvert.com/ignite. If you are on the fence and you want to have a conversation, there's a $500 deposit, refundable deposit you can go and submit. And that will move you to the top of the line in terms of having a conversation with our team, because we don't accept everyone. We only accept you if you qualify to work with us. So make sure that you go to GroupConvert.com/ignite, and I will see you in the next video. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Oh yeah, if you like that video, then you will love all the resources that I have over at kimcdang.com. That is KIMCDANG.com. There you will find all my courses, my extensions, all the offers that I have, as well as a lot of free resources if you are just getting started.